got a couple of screws. You got a screw there, you got a screw up on the top side that you have to take apart. There's 3 of them. There's one down in here too. And all I do is I just spray them with a little WD, and I take a screwdriver and I tap them to break it loose a little bit, and then they come right out. Usually they do. On the back side, it's just these 2 bolts. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Why would I not just spend the $200 a piece and get new ones? Because I don't have $200. Okay, but the other thing is that the felts in this one are gone, and this one actually has really decent felts still in it, so it's a plus plus. I've already cleaned it. I use a hand cleaner on all the rubber parts on this, and the main reason for that is basically get them clean, and also is the hand cleaner has moisturizer in it, so it actually does help soften that rubber back up. And then I sanded and I painted both sides inside and out to give it some protection, and I did clean everything up as well as I could, and WD-40'd the crap out of this and made sure that it's moving good and it's not about to break like the other one. So this is what we're going to put in, and so I'll show you how to take the other one out and put this one in. I've sprayed all these down. They've sat for about an hour and they're not giving. Okay, I know I got bad light, but they're not giving any. So how do you get these out whenever it just doesn't want to give, when you're taking a screwdriver and it's pulling it back out of it's just messing things up? Use one of these. What this is this is basically a screwdriver, but it's designed to put it into the screw and hit it on this end with a hammer, and it forces that screw head into it and breaks it loose. So this one, there'll be a link down below for this one. This one is a pretty neat one to have. This can be very helpful with all the rusted pieces you get in something like this. But I don't know how much they are, but I've had this one for a long time, and this has saved my bacon many, many, many times. All right, so I'm gonna come over here on the outside, and I'll see if I can get this to work for you. And there it went. It works about that well. It basically just gives it the nudge that it needs to get it loose. So we're going to do the other 2, and then we'll pull those bolts on the bottom, and we'll show you the trick on how to get this out. Okay, the little bolt in here ended up being a 5/16. I'm just going to take it. I believe it's 5/16. Yep, it's 5/16, but it's been there for a long time. You can let me get a hold of it. We're going to throw some WD-40 on the back of it too, and you can see it from back here. There we go. This one I don't understand, but this one seems to be a mile long. And it kind of just, yeah, this bolt is just, see, it's just a mile long. That's the bracket, and that mounts up in between here. That mounts up in between here, and that's a support for the mirror. That's a support for the mirror in there. But that bracket is going to be in your way. So that hardware, that bolt goes all the way through there like that. Break her loose a little bit, and then you got to clear the felt up here because there's a bracket that's up inside here where that screw was at. So you kind of just gotta work it around and just get clear. There we go. All right. And once you get it past that point, we're just gonna wiggle her out here. What I also did is I took this bolt loose right here and let the glass slide back. Okay, so these two bolts and this bolt right here, and let the glass slide back out of the way so that you can get this part out. It's just a matter of pushing it down, getting this past the lip here so that you can pull it out. Now, once you get to this point, here's when the fun stuff. It's bring it out till you're out here like this. And then you're just going to take your screwdriver. You're going to put a little pressure on the door skin right here to give yourself just enough. You're going to put around your door skin just enough to get it out. And that's all there is to it. And then we're just going to put the new one back in. As you can see, she snapped good. Now you could possibly, no, you couldn't weld that. You could weld that if you were desperate, but I've got extras, so I'm not going to weld it. So we're just going to replace it. Putting it back in, it's just the same process of, ooh, she's dirty. All right. Ugh, she's dirty. I'm going to clean this after I get done. Anyway, so the process of putting this back in is just the same as taking it out. We're just going to slide it in here like this. Just like this. Just like that. All right. Slide her past all the little pins and needles, bits and pieces. Get her inside. She's going to be a little tight. You're going to have to wiggle it around and get it in place. Line up, take a screwdriver, wiggle it around, get it where it needs to go. Boom. And that is basically how that is. Now I'm going to change that out from the old one because that one's in better shape. But just make sure that your rubber is where it needs to go. All right. And then we're going to take the main glass, put it back in the track-ish. These screws actually come with factory Loctite on them. All right, so we're going to put those in. We're going to take the main glass, put it back in the track, and that should line up this track. This hole, yep, right there, just like that. That's not loose. All right, let's make sure that's loose. All right. Yep, still moving around. All right. Ooh, looky there, worky. Okay. Now what we got left to do is just get the screws back in here and then make sure we can double check this. Looky there. Yep, she tight. We also need to put this in. All right, so, and we got to finagle this down and this back in place right in that spot. All right, you want another trick to not dropping it? Use a piece of, this is just weed eater cord, and I just tied it to it. So we're just going to slip this in like this. get it past the stop, just like that. And even if I do let go of it, it's still in place. We're going to finagle this around. Okay, now what I did was I took a screw into that bracket here on held it in place on the outside of the door. See, now once you get that bracket up in there, the holes, I mean, you can't really see, but the holes, the original bracket holes, they line up. Okay, so I just took a screw and I just kind of put it in here to hold it in place so I can get the long screw in place from the inside. And then I'll snip that wire off of it and we'll be good. Or I can snip the wire off of it right now and pull it out, and then I can just screw this in, and then we'll adjust the window. Screws in here. That's in place. She's solid. We haven't tightened that down. We haven't tightened that down yet because there's still adjustments involved here. But that's the easiest way to do this, is just get up in place, reach in from the inside, and put a screw in one of these holes to hold that bracket into place. All right, she's done, and just like everything else, go ahead and, if you get the opportunity, lube the tracks for your glass. And of course I use my favorite old tube super lube, which they still sell this stuff. I love this stuff. It works for everything. It's just synthetic grease and it works great. And just lube up the track on the window. As you can see right there. Just make sure and get the lube on her, get her nice and wet. The more times you use it, the better it's going to be. And we have a new working. That's right. I can actually feel that fan through the wing window, and that's the whole point. That's the whole point of all of this. Is we now have a working wing window. It needs to be cleaned, but it is now airtight, watertight, ready to go for nothing. A little bit of time. Took me about an hour. Also, remember to reach in there, some WD-40 on everything on the inside while you're here, and not do nothing but help. Took about an hour. There's a couple of those spots in there where it gets a little aggravating when you got to like take a breath and step back, but just take your time. Have a cold one. Go through this. This can be done. This took me about an hour. That's all it took me, and it takes longer because when you're filming, it takes longer. And you can be 2 windows and 55 cooling. Really easy. So if you're still here, like, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell. Smash that button. Check out the links down below. Y'all have a great day. It's a great day today. New wing window in the morning. Y'all be good.